Greetings, citizens from the rolling hills of the bluegrass. So back during 2016, you heard, Bernie Sanders say, I'm a democratic socialist. Well, okay, well, Bernie, that still means you're a socialist, right? Like if I called myself a Christian, but I didn't believe in Jesus Christ, you would kind of scratch your head and go, well, or if I was Muslim and didn't believe in Muhammad, or Buddhist, or a Jain, or take any of your world religions and take the key figures or the key text, and then I said, well, I don't believe in any of that. Would I still get to call myself a member of that community, group, organization? No. Most people would look at me and be like, you're a little weird. Most do anyways right now, but it's like all of this. It's just, it's lawyers. It's lawyery. It's legalese is what all of this is. It's the use of words, and both its manipulation and its destruction and its changing of definitions. And that's the reason why you have that term Soc Dem for social democrat. And the social democrats will say, but we're not socialists. But your whole movement is based in socialism. The reason you're a Soc Dem now is because there were socialists in the past. And yes, things may have changed. And from all that I can tell, most Soc Dems actually put a cap on the extent at which socialism goes. Maybe not its depth, but its distance, how far out it goes. They put a cap on it. They kind of put a fence around, okay, socialism doesn't go beyond this point, but it definitely goes down or goes up in its intensity. But in the end, you're all still socialists. You all, that's, you look at there's an article in Jacobin magazine. Well, who are the Jacobins? Well, those are the people in the French Revolution, right? The Phrygian cap-wearing people, the idea of liberty leading the people. Those are the Jacobins, and the Jacobins eventually went to Scotland, took their ideals there, and then you have Bonnie Prince Charlie over there in Scotland. And what was he? He was a Jacobin. The Jacobites, who were mostly Highlanders, right? The lowland Scots were the ones allied to the crown, and the Highlanders were the ones saying, no, we want to free Scotland. That part I can agree with. Free Scotland. But what I can't agree with is free Scotland and take everyone else's stuff and give it to us. That I can't go for. And then that's after World War II. You have the socialist push coming out of Germany. And this had predated, really. And World War II had tampened that down. But then with the fascists and the full-blown communists kind of out of the way, Germans were able to kind of go back to this more moderate, kind of lukewarm version of socialism. It's like, okay, well, both of those went a little crazy. The National Socialists and the International Socialists, they went a little crazy. We're going to scale it back a bit. We're going to come back and go, okay, maybe we didn't quite get everything in line. And then that goes over to England. England was bankrupt after World War II. And, right, the English, they were bankrupt after World War II. And in walks the Labour Party, who had been before the Fabian Socialist Society. That's where Labour comes from. And who were the Fabian Socialists? Well, many have discussed it. They're incrementalists. Instead of violent smash and grab revolution, they believed in the slow transformation over time. moving from capitalism into socialism. And that's one of the definitions, the earliest definitions of social democracy. And I'm not going to name names, but there are a few prominent voices who describe themselves as social democrats. Right? That's again, linguistic sleight of hand. They're socialists. Now, they may not be virulent in the streets, rioting, causing damage, but they're all socialists. We should listen, give them a platform to be able to sit down and put forth their ideas, might be able to make a compromise here and there. But in the end, they're all still socialists. So it comes down to this. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to us. That's a rebranding thing. You pulled something right out of the Edward Bernays book of propaganda or media or social public relations. You did a name change and thought it was going to be something different, but in the end you still acted like socialists. You still want high taxes. You still want nationalization of certain elements of society, certain utilities, functions. You want to be able to go in and tell a business, you can't do that unless you pay us. Because that's always a concession, isn't it? Well, you can't do that, but if you give us some money, we'll think about it. It's political. It's what the mob did. You know, it's what the mafia did. They go in, it's extortion. It's political extortion. And the right does it too. The right has its elements of this. That's the reason why they want to be in your bedroom and they want to tell you who you can love. So, in again, tyranny is tyranny. I don't care who's peddling it. I don't care, because that's the splitting of hairs. It does not matter. Do you believe you have a control over my life? Okay, are you left or are you right? Well, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because you believe in tyranny. That is your primary goal. And your tyranny may somehow lead to betterment of society, but in the end, it is still command and control. You still believe that you are right. You will dictate the norms of society. And so therefore you are no better than any tyrant in history. So I'm sorry, Soc Dems. You're socialists. I'm sorry, neocons. You're more than likely socialists. Because that's the very strange thing about fascism, which is the marrying of socialist ideals with free markets, or at least controlled markets, where you have at least the idea or the symbolism of economics moving. Because that's why China's worked. They've added a little bit of fascism, and that's why economic fascism sadly works. Because it allows commerce to continue in its normal, standard way that it's occurred throughout human history. But then puts this political apparatus on top of it to say, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that, but if you give us some money, we'll let you do it. And that's what China has done. So cobble that together. And all of these organizations, it is still, and it's almost moved past the idea of socialism and capitalism. Capitalism was just the thing going on at the time. Right? And remember, Marx is in Europe. Marx is in Germany and England. They still had monarchs. In America, we don't have that at the same time frame. We have our other issues, but at the time when Marx is formulating his ideas, he is still looking at the heyday of the absolute monarch. It's been tempered here and there in certain countries, but the absolute monarch, the autocrat, is still thriving. And then in walks the free market, the capitalist, the business owner, the merchant, coupled with the output power of the Industrial Revolution. And you can see why Marxists go, well, these people are going to leave us in the dust. Well, yeah, they are. But tyrants lead people in the dust all the time. It does not matter. You are splitting hairs so fine and walking everyone else right back into tyranny. And it's just, you will turn us all into serfs, and that goes for the extreme corporatist and the extreme socialist. You will both achieve the same goal. You will both do it. And then wonder why the world is in tatters after it's all done.